The scent of golden sunset peaches hung heavy and sickly sweet over Verdante orchards, a cloying funeral shroud for the row of ancient trees Ilara had just found murdered. Her grandfather's gnarled hand, still clutching the silver orchard master's pruner, pointed accusingly at the blackened sap oozing from slashed roots, a silent testament before his body gave out. Outside the glass greenhouse, tires crunched on gravel, and Ilara knew, with icy certainty slicing through her grief, that her Uncle Silas had finally come to claim the prize his treachery had bought. For 3 generations, the Verdante family had nurtured Verdante orchards into a legend. Their peaches weren't just fruit. They were liquid sunshine, imbued with a subtle magic passed down through the bloodline, a secret known only to the orchard master. Ilara's grandfather, Orion Verdante, was the heart of the orchard. Her father, Kalen, his natural heir, possessed the gentle touch that made the trees sing. Silas, Orion's younger brother, was the storm, brilliant but impatient, his ambition a dark counterpoint to Kalen's calm. Silas craved the master's pruner and the secret it symbolized, believing his aggressive methods could make Verdante an empire, not just an orchard. Orion, however, saw the greed in Silas's eyes, the disregard for the tree's slow magic. He named Kalen heir. Silas's smile that day never reached his cold, frost-pine blue eyes. The accidents started subtly. A delayed shipment of vital root-bind fertilizer blamed on supplier error, unexplained blight in Kalen's favorite moon-petal plum grove. Then the fire. Ilara, just 14, watched from her window as the heritage barn, housing generations of Verdante records and Orion's private research, became a roaring inferno. Her father raced inside, searching for Orion, who'd been working late. Neither emerged. Silas arrived moments later, face etched with theatrical grief, pulling Ilara from the flames she'd instinctively run towards. Poor child. Such a tragedy, but Uncle Silas is here now. The official verdict, faulty wiring. Ilara knew it was wire cutters. She saw the faint smear of shadow pine sap on his sleeve before he washed it clean. Silas, as the only surviving adult Verdante, assumed control. He dismissed loyal workers, clear-cut heritage groves for quick-profit sunburst berries, and poured chemicals onto the land Orion had cherished. The golden sunset peaches dwindled, their magic fading. Silas didn't care. He built Verdante Agricorp, trading legacy for ledger lines. Ilara was sent away to boarding school in Athelgard City, a gilded cage designed to erase her connection to the land. But Verdante blood ran thick. She studied botany not for grades, but for weapons. She learned finance to understand Silas's empire. She practiced the subtle gestures Orion had shown her as a child, the way to calm a stressed sapling, the hum that encouraged bud formation, honing the innate Verdante magic Silas lacked and despised. Her grief hardened into a diamond core of purpose. She would reclaim her birthright, not through force, but by making Silas destroy himself with the very greed that fueled him. She would be the blight beneath his bark.
Years later, Ilara returned, not as the heiress, but as Dr. Ilara Thorne, a renowned but reclusive botanical geneticist specializing in rare fruit preservation. Silas, his Agricorp booming but the remaining Verdante orchards failing, saw opportunity. "Welcome home, niece," he boomed, his smile wide and empty. "Perhaps you can salvage your grandfather's sentimental little project, for old time's sake." He offered her the crumbling greenhouse and a pittance budget, a cynical PR move. Ilara accepted with cool gratitude, hiding the storm behind her Willowmere green eyes. Inside the neglected greenhouse, amidst the ghosts of Orion's work, Ilara found allies. Bryn, the gruff old groundskeeper Silas had kept on out of laziness, whose loyalty still belonged to Orion. Lyra, a sharp young lab assistant Silas had underestimated, disillusioned by Agricorp's ethics. Together, they became Ilara's shadow network. While she publicly struggled to revive the last golden sunset trees under Silas's watchful, mocking eye, she secretly worked on two fronts. First, she needed proof of Silas's crimes. Bryn remembered the night of the fire, a delivery of fertilizer sacks that smelled oddly of shadow pine kindling. Lyra, accessing old Agricorp servers Silas thought wiped, found deleted invoices for industrial accelerants purchased days before the fire under a shell company, Emberfall Supplies. Ilara, using her deep botanical knowledge, analyzed soil samples near the Heritage Barn ruins. Traces of unique chemical markers used in those specific accelerants lingered, years later. The evidence was circumstantial, but damning when woven together. Second, she crafted her revenge. Silas's Agricorp was vulnerable. His empire was built on a new genetically modified superberry, Evercrisp, marketed as eternal freshness. Ilara discovered its flaw. It relied on a rare, unstable mineral called stasis crystal, mined unsustainably. Shortages were imminent, hidden through Silas's clever accounting and bullied suppliers. Ilara also knew Silas was desperate to secure a massive contract with luxury hotel chain Celestial Resorts, who demanded exclusivity and perfection. Evercrisp was his golden ticket to global domination. Ilara's plan was a slow poison. She subtly, quote, leaked concerns about Evercrisp's long-term viability and stasis crystal dependency to a conscientious Celestial Resorts food scout, using Lyra's contacts. She encouraged Bryn to spread whispers among the older workers about the, quote, Verdante curse, befalling those who abandoned tradition, knowing Silas secretly feared Orion's ghost. Simultaneously, in her greenhouse, she wasn't just reviving the golden sunsets, she was enhancing them. Using Orion's fragmented notes, her own genius, and the deep, patient Verdante magic, she cultivated a new strain. They looked identical to the originals, but possessed a unique trait. They amplified truth. Not drastically, but enough to loosen inhibitions, make hidden anxiety surface, and cause careless slips of the tongue. She called them Sunlight's Clarity, Peaches. The opportunity arrived at the Verdante Agricorp Golden Harvest Gala, Silas's annual spectacle celebrating his success. He planned to unveil the finalized Celestial Resorts deal and present Evercrisp as the future. Ilara, invited as a token gesture, arrived with a small, exquisite basket of her Sunlight's Clarity peaches. A taste of true Verdante legacy, Uncle, she said, her voice smooth, to honor grandfather. Silas, basking in triumph and wanting to showcase his magnanimity, and perhaps gloat, insisted the peaches be served as a special dessert course.
The gala glittered. Silas gave a soaring speech, announcing the celestial deal to thunderous applause. As waiters circulated Ilara's peaches, she watched, her heart a steady drumbeat. Silas, flushed with victory and several glasses of Frostvale Spark, took a large bite of the peach. So did the CEO of Celestial Resorts, Marius Vance, and Silas's nervous financial backer, Gideon Frost. The effect was subtle, like sunlight warming skin. Marius Vance, mid-conversation with Silas about Evercrisp's flawless supply chain, suddenly frowned. Flawless, Silas? My scouts heard troubling whispers about stasis crystal shortages? Are we truly secure? His voice held new, unexpected sharpness. Silas, feeling unusually warm and defensive, waved a dismissive hand, the peach's juice glistening. Whispers, nonsense, Marius, mere hiccups. We control the market. Those miners in the Glimmerdeep caves, we pay them pennies. They'll dig till their hands bleed. Shortages are a myth spread by jealous competitors. He laughed, a harsh sound. The room quieted slightly. Gideon Frost paled.
Gideon, feeling his own tongue loosen under the peach's influence and sudden panic, leaned in, his voice a strained whisper, meant to be private, but carrying in the sudden hush, "Silas, control yourself. What about the overextended loans? The ones secured against future Evercrisp profits? If Celestial senses instability—" Silas rounded on him, his frost pine blue eyes blazing, the carefully constructed facade cracking. "Instability? You funded those loans, Gideon. You knew the risks. You wanted the returns. And those hiccups? We covered them. Falsified the yield reports from the Southern Grove. Emberfall handled the accident there beautifully, didn't they? Like the old days." He froze, realizing what he'd just said. The name Emberfall hung in the air like poison gas. Marius Vance stood up, his face like stone. Emberfall? The fire accelerant supplier? Falsified yields? Accidents? He turned his piercing gaze on Silas. "Explain, now." Silas spluttered. The truth serum peach and his own unraveling panic made him dig deeper. It was necessary. Business. Orion and Kalen, they were weak, holding us back with their precious magic dirt. The fire, it cleared the way, made room for real progress. Evercrisp is the future. A collective gasp went through the ballroom. Loyal AgriCorp employees stared in horror. Investors demanded meetings. Silas stood alone on the dais, his empire collapsing around him as the amplified truth of his betrayal echoed in the suddenly silent hall as the sickly sweet scent of his own hubris replaced the peaches. His eyes met Alara's across the room. She didn't smile. She simply held his gaze, the quiet fury of 3 generations burning in her own. The Verdante heir had returned.
The fallout was swift and merciless. Investigations into the Heritage Barn fire reopened, quickly leading to Silas and Emberfall supplies. Financial regulators tore into AgriCorp, uncovering the falsified reports, the predatory loans, and the unsustainable stasis crystal dependency. Verdante AgriCorp stock became worthless overnight. Silas's assets were frozen. He faced charges of fraud, arson, and ultimately murder. The public, once enamored with the Evercrisp tycoon, recoiled at the monster revealed. Ilara didn't attend the trial. She walked through the orchards Silas had neglected, her hand brushing the bark of the surviving golden sunset trees. With Bryn and Lyra by her side, and using the recovered fragments of Orion's knowledge combined with her own, she began the true work. Slowly, patiently, she healed the land. The sunlight's clarity peaches, their purpose served, were retired. The original golden sunset magic, nurtured with respect and Verdante blood, began to seep back into the soil, the air, the fruit. One morning, a perfect golden sunset peach, warm from the sun and radiating its gentle, familiar magic, fell into her hand. She bit into it. The taste was sunshine and memory, forgiveness and fierce, enduring love. It was the taste of home reclaimed, of justice served cold, not as violence, but as undeniable truth. The shadow of Silas Verdante was gone. Above Verdante orchards, the sun shone cleanly, and the trees, whispering secrets only a Verdante could hear, finally bore fruit for the future. Ilara Verdante, orchard master, walked her grandfather's paths, the silver pruner warm and right in her hand. The roots ran deep again.